Rasulillah. This letter of Imam Rabbani was written to Abdul Rahim Khana. Imam Rabbani said that you should know that the land is in loss or will not benefit from anything. What he means is that your heart will not benefit from someone who's not qualified, someone who hasn't got the faizan, the blessings from the awliya. And is referring to a sheikh who's not qualified in the path of tasawwuf. So what he meant by saying the land is your heart. It's like a land, it's a piece of land. Whatever you plant in a piece of land, it will grow that. And it will give fruit as well. But if the entire land is corrupt, the seed that you plant in it is corrupt. It's not going to grow anything. And he said that when you plant a seed that's not going to work, it's not going to be planted properly, or under the land it's not going to work, then there is no point that you plant it in the first place, because by planting it's not going to benefit. There is no fruit, nothing. Even if you leave it for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, planting the wrong seed will not benefit. You try to plant it, but in reality the seed is not even there. It's burnt, isn't it? The seed itself is burnt. Try to plant a burnt seed into a beautiful piece of land. It's not going to work. So the heart is beautiful, isn't it? Your heart is pure. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the hadith Qudsi, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not reside anywhere in the world. Now there are meanings to this, but except the heart of the believer. Now there are interpretations of this, and we will not go into interpretations today. So Imam Rabbani said that if you plant the wrong seed in your heart, it's not going to do anything. Because planting the wrong seed and then watering it with something that's not going to work, it's a waste of time. Some people choose to do loud zikr. For example, if you want to follow Qadri, Chishti or Soharwardi order, or Shadli order, or Abul Alai order, or Jahangiri order, even a Wasi order. We have read the works of Shaykh Abdul Qadir Jilani rahmahullah ta'ala and other mashayikh, the founders of different tariqas. They all come back to the qalb. They say the heart has to be sound, the heart has to be active, the heart has to be purified in order for you to go towards loud zikr. But let's say if someone chooses to do loud zikr, firstly the seed is not planted. The seed is not there. The seed is not there. So why are you watering? I don't understand. Simple as that. Why are you watering? So doing loud zikr without the guidance of a righteous sheikh, without the guidance of a tariqah, or just following people who are not authorized, is a waste of time. You will be rewarded. You will be rewarded, but if you want to go through the stages of tasawwuf, then you have to go by the right means. You can't just say, I can just start doing one tasbih of Subhanallah in 1,000 times a day and I will become a kutub of my time. It doesn't work like that. You will be rewarded for that. But becoming a kutub or ghaus or these ranks are for those who are mukarribeen, those who follow the path of awliya. So Imam Rabbani said, the seed that's corrupted will not work. And it will not just work, he said, that this seed that's being planted, it will cause corruption. Because the seed itself has corruption in it. And it doesn't have no benefits. And you tell someone you are planted the seed in you and you have ijazah, now he will cause corruption. And he said the reason why he's giving these examples of seed is, he said, this means following or taking tariqah from a person who's not qualified. That's what he means. And following that path. So what he means by a seed that's corrupted is following or taking tariqah from a shaykh who's not qualified and following that shaykh. He didn't just say take zikr and follow your own path. No, he said taking zikr from him who's not even qualified. Firstly, you go tell him plant the seed, and he will just in his dreams will say, oh, I planted the seed. He's lying to you basically. Then he says, look, I planted the seed, follow me. So these two things must not be followed. Okay, why? Because firstly, he will lie to you that he's given you the seed. And secondly, he will say, oh, you can follow me as well. And he said, why? Because he is following his desires. He is following his desires. He's not doing zikr. He himself is not purified. He himself is not at the maqam of wilayat, and he's misleading you. Because he's following his own desires. When you follow him, you become a person of your desires as well. And he said it will not work. It does not work. Following a shaykh who's not qualified, in reality, he's not even a shaykh. But this, it's not going to work. It has no effect on your heart. And he said, if you feel like it works, then it's only working, increasing your desires. For example, if you feel like it's working, some people feel like, oh, my shaykh looked at me and, I started moving. My shaykh looked at me and I felt something in my heart. For example, you feel like that. He said, that's just your desires increasing. Don't worry. It's nothing real. Imam Rabbani said that. So that if you feel like there's some faz coming, some blessings, some nur is coming from that shaykh who's not qualified, don't think it's faz. It's just your desires increasing. So just in case if someone thinks that these uneducated shuyukh are giving something, they're not giving anything. And he said that this is darkness upon darkness. This is darkness upon darkness. We heard about Nurun ala Nur. This is Zulma ala Zulma. This is darkness upon darkness. And he said that the reason why this is darkness upon darkness is because he does not know the way to get to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He does not know the difference between the path of spirituality or the path of just normal people who don't have no knowledge. He doesn't know the difference. And he will just tell you, oh, just go this way. And it's one way. You don't know, there's a car coming. He will lead you to one way, and then the car will come and hit you, basically. So he doesn't know the difference. He doesn't know the difference between the path of spirituality and the path of ordinary people who don't really have any knowledge. And he does not have the knowledge of jazba or suluk. He doesn't know what jazba is. He doesn't know what suluk is. Now, when people enter a spiritual path, first thing, if they are people of jazba, they will receive faizan on the first day, and they will change the first day. If they are people of suluk, they have to go through the suluk and then they will change. There's a difference between jazba and suluk. A salik, there are two types. There's majzoob salik and salik majzoob. Majzoob salik who gets jazba first. Now what is jazba? You have to come to these gatherings to understand what jazba is. That the Shaykh will give you zikr on the first day, and you will get the noor, which will then purify your heart. That's jazba, and you'll start changing straight away. You have jazb. And suluk is the path of spirituality. So some people get jazba and then they go through the stages slowly. But some people go through the stages first and then get jazba at the end. Alhamdulillah, we have the path that we give jazba first. But there are people who get jazba later, in Naqshbandis as well, because it's different with everyone. It doesn't just work out the same for everyone. Some people get jazba later, some people get it at the beginning.
Oh.
And Imam Rabbani mentioned here that the person does not know. He doesn't know that which murid is at which stage, and he doesn't know that. So the Shaykh who is not qualified, he doesn't know whether the murid needs jazba. Is he majzoob salik or salik majzoob? He doesn't know. So what's this? He doesn't know. He said, don't worry. Keep going. And they stop pretending, make things up. But they don't tell them the real thing. And if he leads a follower, a disciple, onto a path which is not of spirituality, and at the end, the salik, the seeker, and himself, they are both misguided. At the end, they won't gain anything. Because the path that he is taking someone onto is not in a path of spirituality. It's a path of ignorance and path of misguidance. And he gives an example that the tariqah of the righteous people is always pure. People who have the real way, they follow the mashayikh, the awliyaullah, their path is the right one, and their path is the only way that will lead you to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he said that the real shaykh, the one who is a waliullah, his nigah, his insight, his tawajjuh is the best cure, is the best shifa. That's why Mashaykh, Kamilin, they look at you, they start healing you. Their gaze is healing you. Just by looking at you, they will heal you. And he said his nazar, his gaze, is medicine for you. Uski nazar. His nazar, his gaze is medicine. And his kalam, his words are shifa for you. A wali's nigah, gaze is, his spiritual gaze is dawa. It's medicine for you. And his kalam, his words are shifa for you. They cure for you. And he said that everything except his nazar and his kalam is pain and loss. And he said that those who talk about tasawwuf are the ones who have the knowledge of tasawwuf. Only a wali can talk about tasawwuf. Hazrat Arif Lahori Rahmatullah alayhi used to say that only a wali can write about tasawwuf and talk about tasawwuf. A jahil cannot talk about tasawwuf. Tasawwuf is something higher. Tasawwuf is something that's known by the Kamilin. They are the real people. If someone wants to talk about tasawwuf, we had an example, someone said, oh, I know about tasawwuf. I said, have you done first latifa? Now, a problem is that if you go through the tafsir, the knowledge of batin, this knowledge, the ulama have written, is fard upon everyone. It's an obligation. Like knowledge of sharia is obligation, knowledge of tariqah is also an obligation. People ask the ulama, इसको सेट करें या क्या? ठीक है. Sit down. बैठ. हो गया बैठ. People ask the ulama that should we seek knowledge of tasawwuf? Ulama don't know. Only a person of tasawwuf will know the answer. You go to the wrong person. Wrong person means that the person does not have any knowledge about tasawwuf. So you go to an alim who has a knowledge of zahir, he will not be able to guide you to ulama batin. He doesn't know. So you ask your masjid imam and you ask him, oh, do you know how to get closer to Allah? He doesn't know. He will tell you the way of abrar, people who just read tasbih. There is no path of spirituality in their life. They don't know the path of spirituality. So you ask him and you say to him that I want to get closer to Allah. He'll say to you, pray namaz. The guy doesn't even pray namaz. If he was going to do that already, that he could have told himself that, look, I want to pray, I should pray. But just by telling yourself that you want to pray salah, doesn't work like that. You need someone to purify you. You need someone to keep you in that suhbah. Only then you will start praying.